Well, good morning. It is around about 6 o'clock Spanish time, which is 5 o'clock UK time, on Thursday morning, the 1st of the month, 1st of August, the first day of the second month. I'm up really early as usual. I think I'm the only person up on the ship, apart from the cleaners and the staff, and it's business as usual, into the charts. Last night we had FOMC. I was stopped out of my US dollar Japanese yen shorts. There was a spike in US dollar, and not quite sure what happened after that. I have still got a couple of trades on in my Australian dollar Japanese yen short and my Australian dollar Swiss franc short, but not quite sure what's happened to those. I'm going to have a look now. As always, every morning look at the market with a fresh perspective, fresh eyes, and see what opportunities show up. Okay, so just pulling into Barcelona, our second stop on the cruise, and done the morning market analysis, all good. Still in my 2 Aussie dollar short trades, nothing much to do today, which is good because we're off to FC Barcelona, to the home of, well, maybe the home of Spanish football, who knows, depends on which team you support, but we're off there this morning to have a tour of the ground, and it should be a pretty good day. Okay, so it's around about 3:30 Spanish time, 2:30 UK time. Just got back from FC Barcelona. Fantastic. If you've not been, fully recommend it. The kids love the shop. Spent a fortune, but never mind. The ship is there in the background, and I am now just got off the ship. I'm going to go for a run to Las Ramblas and back. No idea how far it is. No idea how long it's going to take, but never mind, that's what adventure is all about. Quick update, 2 o'clock, put on the first 2 trades of the month, a short in Australian dollar, US dollar, and also a short in New Zealand dollar, US dollar. Both showing pretty similar patterns, but you know, all good in terms of my risk parameters, correlation risk, etc, etc. There is some US dollar news out at, let's put the ship in the background, US dollar news out at 3 o'clock UK time, which may have an impact, but they look to be both in solid trends, full house strategy. So by the time I get back from the run, we'll see how things are playing out, and for the moment nothing to do but to relax, or not relax as the case may be, and enjoy the sunshine. So 20-minute run into central Barcelona, beautiful run, bit of pollution but not too bad. And behind me, if I can get that in, oh, where is it? Above the trees, can't see it. I'll turn the camera around in a minute. Statue of Christopher Columbus. In fact, you can't see it. Let me walk forward. Statue of Christopher Columbus, which was the focal point to help me get into the city without getting lost. So if I turn around now, you'll see that. There we go, sticking out the top of my head. Statue of Christopher Columbus, one of one of the world's probably greatest explorers. So left with a couple of choices now. I either go over to the harbour area behind me up there somewhere, or I go to Las Ramblas. So I think I want to have a run up to the harbour and then have a look what's up there, and then have an explore of Las Ramblas. So here on Las Ramblas, absolutely heaving with tourists, including me. Probably not going to stay too long. Port was quite nice, but on quite a tight time scale. Need to get back to the ship. Yeah, really enjoying Barcelona. Great day so far, and back on the ship. Sail away tonight, I think is 10:30 p.m. Yeah, looking forward to getting back and seeing where we head to next. But now I think it's time to saddle up and make that run back to the ship. Well, what a nice run. So back at the port now, ready to get on the boat. Just checked into the two positions I put on before I left for the run. Aussie dollar short, New Zealand dollar short. The news, manufacturing news out of the US was slightly less than, well, not as good as expected, basically. So both of those pairs have seen a little bit of heat, but I'm fast getting used to the fact that news, people knee-jerk react, but if you're on the right side of the trend, if there's a strong trend in the currency pair that you're trading, then that small bit of volatility, unless it's a major piece of news, then just ride that out and continue. So not worried. The other thing that I'm when I run, I think a lot about stuff. The other thing I've been thinking and noticed is that I seem to trade a lot better when I'm on holiday. Now I'm not advocating that. Sorry, sweat in my eyes. Not advocating that you spend your life trading around the world, but what's the reasons for that? Well, I think it's probably a couple of things. I think first off, when I'm on holiday, I don't think about, well, I do think about trading all the time, but I'm not in front of my screens all of the time, so I'm checking in every 4 hours. Sometimes I can't check in every 4 hours. And I think the other thing is that I'm probably a lot more relaxed. I think naturally when you're on holiday, you're in a more relaxed state, and with psychology being the most important thing for successful trading, well, if you are in a relaxed state, you're not emotional, then that's good. And I'm finding that my emotions are a lot more regulated. That news spike that I've just seen, it doesn't even worry me anymore because I've seen it so many times. It's the knee-jerk reaction. If it is a major change in trend, then I'll jump on that. So follow the rules, stick to the plan, and maintain discipline. With that said, narrative over for the moment. I'm going to jump back on the ship, hit the gym, and then probably have a beer. Day 25 of the 36-month FOREX trading challenge. This is day 2 of month 2. I'm talking quite quietly as I'm sat in the buffet restaurant on the ship. It was another early start, but beautiful morning, worth getting up for, although I did struggle this morning. I think the problem in the ships is the air conditioning. It makes you not feel great in the morning, gives you a bit of a cold, but you've got to get out of bed and get the job done. So had a pretty good day yesterday. President Trump, as he does with his tweets, tweeted some negative news about a potential China trade deal that saw people flood into, or traders flood into safe haven currencies. I was of course short Australian dollar, Japanese yen, Australian dollar, Swiss franc. So as people flooded into safe haven currencies, that helped me, and also because Australian dollar is linked to Chinese
trading, etc., etc., or Chinese markets, it also weakened the Australian dollar. So a double whammy, if you like. I don't tend to interpret the news, but that was a very obvious thing. I was sat there having dinner, and suddenly just saw that my Australian dollar shorts, I've got an Australian dollar, US dollar short as well, they just tanked, and of course that's a news result. So what I've done now, I've rolled in some aggressive stops on the first two trades, the Japanese yen and Swiss franc trades. We're at technical levels where there could be a reversal, although we're still in a downtrend, looking at the weekly trend. So locked in profit there. We'll ride that out and see where we go. So morning market analysis is done now. Got quite a few pairs that I'm watching. I'll be checking in again at 10 o'clock UK time, 11 o'clock here in the middle of the ocean, to see if any further signals show up. And I'll get a video out a little bit later, just showing some of the trades I am in, some of the trades I've got out of, and just a kind of roundup as to where we are on this second day of the month. Still not got all the trades closed from last month, so can't quite produce the statistics for last month yet. But once a couple of those two trades that I mentioned, once they close out, be able to get the statistics, if I can say that, out for the first month and get those published. It's looking like it was drawdown. It may not be. Maybe a marginal profit in there, but I'll find out once those two trades close.
Okay, so just pop back to the cabin. As you can see, got the beautiful sea in the background. Still on the balcony. Came back to the cabin on the ship for non-farm payrolls. Bit of a non-event. Not a lot of reaction in the market. Have taken profit on a couple of positions. I've got I think 3 positions now in play, all in profit. So been a really good week. There's been a lot happening. Probably too much to get over in the blog. I do have all the results in now for the first month of trading. It wasn't a drawdown, in fact. I made a marginal profit, and I'll analyse that over the weekend and report on that in next week's video. But for now, just going to give a quick overview into the charts of what's happened this week and what's currently in play. So a quick rundown of the trades that have taken place this week, and there's been quite a lot of activity. It's been maybe not a great finish to the first month, but a great start to the second month. And I'm going to refer to my list here, which is my weekly trade management sheet, just so I can be sure to cover all the trades that I've made. So first, very quickly, in cable, this was a short trade. I was stopped out here on a trailing stop. Nice profitable trade. Just inside, there's some consolidation here. Not too surprising. Just inside. Or to the upside of the 1.2000 handle and the 10, 5 and 3 year low depicted here by the black line. US dollar, Japanese yen, so the yen. Okay, so here I roll my stop to entry just before, I think it was just before the FOMC. Also had this rising 50 simple moving average. FOMC came out, there was a reaction, stopped me out, and then look what happened. So this would have been a winning trade. Well, actually I would have been stopped out, would have lost here, but I picked the direction of the market, but you know, stop would have been too tight. But that was a no gain, no loss, break even trade. So that's absolutely fine. Trying to preserve capital at all times. Australian dollar, US dollar, New Zealand dollar, US dollar. These were trades that I entered yesterday. Let's just look at both of those quickly. Australian dollar, this was a full house strategy on this candle here. This is the daily trend down. If I go to the daily chart, you can see that we're kind of halfway between the weekly trend, albeit we are approaching this 10 and 5 year low. So what I've got on this pair is I've got my first target here at this 10 and 5 year low, and then we'll carry on if we do get below there, but at least I'll make some money here. New Zealand dollar, it's a similar kind of trade. Again, we've got, if I show you this,
yeah, we've got the downtrend weekly, that's the blue lines, and I've got the 3-year low here. So a bit more space for this trade to potentially run, but being quite aggressive with my stop here and also on my Aussie dollar trade. I rolled this stop to break even just before non-farm payrolls today, which turned out to be a little bit of a non-event, but I didn't want to give the market any money back. So if it does reverse out on me, that's fine. I preserved capital. Next up, Euro Japanese yen. Took a small loss on this here. I exited this position. The exponential moving averages has crossed above the 50 simple moving average. The price was trading above the 50 simple moving average. This was a signal for me to get out ahead of hitting my initial stop. The market then did drop, but didn't give me an entry signal, or not clear, potentially here, but I wasn't around to take this. So again, picked the direction of the trade correctly, but you know, this bit of activity here, this stalling here, followed my rules and got out. So winning trade, even though I didn't make money on this trade. In fact, I lost money on this trade. Only a marginal amount. This was still a winning trade. Euro Swiss franc, very similar story. Again, I exited based on my rules here. We were trading above the 50 simple moving average. In fact, no, that's not. Hang on a sec. Yes, that was a trade. I've taken that trade off. So I had, yes, let me get this right. So I had Euro Swiss franc trade, lost here on that trade. I've taken this off the chart so you can't see where that was, but I've taken the opportunity to get in again short. Closed below this low, had this Y signal here, entered on a full house strategy. So my initial trade, if I'd have held it, it would have been profitable, but it would have been a losing trade because I would have broken my rules. My rules tell me to get out when these exponential moving averages cross above the 50 simple moving average. So although I lost on that first trade, I followed my rules, so it was a winning trade, and I got a second opportunity to get in. We're now tracking down towards the target. Next, into the commodity synthetics. So here I have two very profitable trades in Australia, Aussie dollar, Japanese yen, Australia dollar, Swiss franc. Here, these were both profitable. Golden Gate full house strategy. In terms of the Australian dollar, Japanese yen, I rolled an aggressive stop here, was taken out on that stop. Reason I rolled an aggressive stop, we were at the bottom of the daily trend line, and if I go into the daily chart, we were also at the bottom of the weekly trend line. So yeah, stopped out by a point or two, close call, but at the end of the day, followed my rules, and it was a winning trade and a profitable trade. Australian dollar, Swiss franc, a kind of similar story. Rolled an aggressive stop here. The reason I rolled an aggressive stop here was because on this particular pair, where are we? This is the daily chart. Again, weekly trend line, and here this black line was the 3-year low. So again, rolled an aggressive stop, was stopped out. That's fine. This is a very profitable trade. You know, I've not extracted all of the profit potentially out of this trade, but I protected myself. It's Friday. What tends to happen or can happen on a Friday is anyone who is short the market here decides to take profit. So you can see a little bit of a bounce against the major move for the week. So I'm out. I can relax. It's been a really good week, really good start to the month and second month, and looking forward to Monday to crack on and follow the plan, trade the system, and stick to my discipline.